Research shows that whilst 89% of us believe that the future will be better than the present, only 50% of us believe that we can actually make it so. This, for me, this piece of research, and it's out of the Gallup organization in the US, shows fundamentally the difference between wishing, the 89%, and hoping, the 50%. We wish things could be better, but when we hope things can be better, we actually have a tangible understanding of how we can help make it so. Now, the thing is, in our everyday language, hope, I think, is something that's used as kind of wishful thinking. I don't think there's that much difference, perhaps, between wishing and hoping. And yet in the scientific literature, hope is a really robust construct. It gives us a sense of not just what we want to achieve, not just the goals that we're hoping for, but also very tangible pathways around how we're going to get there. So as you think about how you would like your next 12 months to go, what your year by design could look like, are you wishing or are you hoping for what will come to be? We're going to use an activity developed by a researcher called Shane Lopez called a hope map. And I've just expanded it with the most recent research. And it's a very useful tool for us to really get concrete around what we want to achieve and how we're going to get there. So the resource to go with this video is a hope map, and it looks like this. So you can see that what I'm asking you to do is think about your goals for your year ahead. Now, the original researcher in the field of hope was a guy called Rick Snyder, and he was very specific that these need to be want-to goals. These are not things that you feel obligation around. These are not things that you feel you should do. These are how you want the next 12 months to play out for you. So what are your want-to goals? And in the resource, I've asked you to list those here in the teal column. We're then thinking about, well, how are you going to make that happen? What are the things that you've reflected on could take you towards a year by design? Maybe it's investing in rest and recovery. Maybe it's identifying there are creative pursuits that you want to pick up again. Maybe it's thinking about how you focus on various relationships in your world. So what are some of the pathways that are going to take you towards the year by design and the goals that you want to achieve in order to bring that to life? Now, in the resource, and you don't have to use this, you can just draw 3 columns on a sheet of paper. Here is your goals, and in the beige is your pathways. This is how you're going to get there. Now, in the middle, in the dark gray column, it's realistic for us to think about, okay, what could get in the way of this? What are the potential obstacles for these pathways helping me to meet my want-to goals for my next year? So this is about us being realistic, right? This is about us thinking, okay, what are the things where I could trip myself up? What are the things where I could get in my own way? What are the things that are external that might prevent me moving along this pathway towards my want-to goal? Now, these 3 things, this want-to goals, the understanding of pathways thinking, and then thinking about the obstacles and how we're going to have the willpower to overcome those, these are the cornerstones of Rick Snyder's hope theory. The reason I've expanded the map beyond Shane Lopez's original one is because I had the honor of supervising a PhD student called Rachel Collar, who's just finished her PhD, and she looked at Rick Snyder's hope theory and expanded it. So it's not just about want-to goals, the pathways to get there, the way power, and the willpower, like how are we going to overcome the obstacles. Rachel's research found that it's also about who power. Who else is involved in this activity or in achieving this goal with us? Who might inspire or support us as we go along the way to achieving these goals? So who power, also important. And a 4th one, why power? Like, why is this important to us? What's the meaning and purpose behind us undertaking this activity towards this goal? And so you can see that in the resource, what we've got is around the edges of our central map, we've also got willpower, way power, who power, and why power. So once you've got the central map filled in, I invite you to have a think about who could support you and inspire you as you move towards making your year by design a reality. What's the willpower? How are you going to motivate yourself? What are going to be the things, the hacks, where you go to in terms of keeping yourself on the path? Maybe it's the why power, the meaning and purpose, your understanding of why now is the time to make these changes that will help you keep the motivation, keep the grit and persistence, even when there are natural ups and downs to the challenge, to the pathway. So through the center of your hope map, we have your want to goals, the pathways to get there, and the obstacles that might trip you up in the middle. And then around the edge are these powers that will empower you to bring your year by design to life. Who power? The people that will motivate and inspire you along the way. Why power? The meaning and purpose, and why now is the time to make these changes. The willpower, how are you going to sustain motivation even as things naturally go up and down, which we know they will. And the way power, are there plans B, C, D that you can have just in the background so that you know if those obstacles really do shut down pathway A, you've got alternatives that you can take. This is how we bring our life by design, our year by design to life, by being clear around what it is that we want to do differently, how we might get there, and being realistic in terms of thinking about what could get in our way. And then mapping the support and the energy system around this to help us achieve the year by design that we're hoping for.